Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Movie Battlegrounds. My name is Madi. I'm going to be your host this evening. Hopefully, I don't mess this up, but we'll find out. But we have a great match for you guys today. This match is going to be between Chris Diaz and Kevin Marino. Now, before I get into them, I'm going to remind you guys, please check out the most recent title match. Goes up last week. Went up last week. I don't know how time works in StreamYard. But it's between the defending champion Henry Sanchez and the challenger Chadwick Webb. So please check that out if you haven't had a chance. It's a great match, and I recommend everyone watching it. All right, so we're going to get into introducing our competitors today, and we're going to start by introducing Kevin Marino with a record of 1-3. Kevin, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Really excited to be back here and hopefully change that 1-3 to a 1-4. I mean 2-3.
Either one of those is going to be the end of it. But yeah, you've had a bit of a tough career so far, man. Like you've got three KOs in your battleground record so far. Uh, but you have won that one match, so you do have a shot of winning this. What are your thoughts going into this match?
I think this one I'm pretty confident because like two of those matches, they were this time is not against someone who's played years before, so I
Right,
could have a chance.
right. I mean, yeah, the one that sticks out to me is like you got put up against like Jeremy like right away, and Jeremy's probably one of the better competitors in the history of Battleground. So that
Yeah.
being one of the first ones is, I mean, it's throwing you right into the fire. So, so we're gonna come back to you in a second, Kevin. I'm gonna send you to the back, and I'm gonna bring out your opponent, Chris Diaz, with a record of 1-3. That one being a KO over Brian Nussbaum, looking to get your second win as well. So, Chris, how you feeling, man? Good to
I
see you.
feel it. Good to see you, Timothy. I'm feeling good. Cameron Wayne, one of the people I actually do appreciate. He's a good player. A little nervous, but this is a match I've been looking forward to. We have a bunch of great questions this time around. I actually did enjoy rewatching a bunch of them. But yeah, have fun. This is like I love debating. I love having fun. Win or lose, I want to get to win, and if we lost it this, by winning this match, so like I want to end the year on a good note.
I mean, you guys are both going for it, so we'll see who comes out at the end on top. So I'm going to send you to the back too, and I'm going to go over the rules for this afternoon. Um, if I can find the rules here, there we go. All right, so Movie Battlegrounds is a best of 5, or first to 3 points wins. Each round of debate is worth 1 point. If one competitor earns the first 3 points in a row, that is a victory by KO. If it's a 2-2 draw at the end of 4 rounds, we go into the blind round tiebreaker round. Competitors have been given these questions ahead of time. Oop, there we go. And they've had time to prep their answers. First stage of question is 60-second opening. Second stage of the question is a 2-minute expansion or rebuttal period, followed by the open debate round, which will last for 4 minutes. And then finishing off, we will have the 60-second closing arguments from each competitor. Then the three judges will be brought on screen, during which they'll give their arguments about who won the round. We don't need to go over that one right now. Where is the next one? Nope, that I already did too. All right, screw it. So I'm gonna bring in our two competitors, realizing that I've already gone over this. And we are gonna get started. Now I will let the competitors know I tried to do the timer and I have no idea why it wasn't showing up when I tried to share the screen. So I'm not entirely sure why it wasn't working. But I'm gonna try and do my best to like keep a timer and then I guess just like tell you guys when the time is getting close because for some reason it wasn't sharing when I tried to do it. Uh, Not sure why. Aaron can edit this out afterwards, but just letting you guys know that on my end, it for some reason wasn't coming through. You guys cool with that?
Mhm.
Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, so, all right, question number one, ladies and gentlemen. If another movie released from 2009 had become the highest grossing film of all time instead of Avatar, which movie is worthy of that title? Now, this is coming up because, as you guys may know, Avatar is a movie that's getting a sequel finally after what feels like 30 years after the original. So we're going to start with Chris. You were chosen as the favorite, and you chose to go first on questions 1 and 3. So, Chris, you're going to go first. Timer will start when you start talking.
So in 2009, we had a great year, right? Avatar was the biggest high-grossing movie of the year, and it, for the time, was. But to me, the film that Avatar wasn't around and should take Avatar play a high-grossing movie, it is Star Trek 9. Star Trek 9 is the reinvention of the Star Trek franchise. It's fun, entertaining, amazing action, amazing character development, some great acting all around. I just feel like it revived the Star Trek career and gave it to a new generation to enjoy. While you have little stuff for the other generation to enjoy, and like an Evo appearance was a callback to everything for the old generation. And it renovated the career. And any movie deserves this is a film that not only renovates the career, but gives one of the most stunning concept with action, and especially that cast itself. Like we went to Rick Pine, Zoe Saldana, Simon Pegg, Anthony Yelchin, and all the continue on it, and it is the best.
And time. All right, Kevin, we're going to go to you next. Chris had the answer of Star Trek. So, what is your choice for a movie that should have gotten or should have become the highest grossing film of all time instead of Avatar in 2009? Time
Like,
starts when you start talking.
so with my pick, I chose Harry Potter, and Half Friend uh, as a film that could have been the highest box box of film of all time, if instead of our Avatar. And I yield my time.
Okay, yielding your time right away. So you're going with Harry Potter and the Half Blood Prince. So we have Star Trek versus Harry Potter and the Half Blood Prince coming right at you guys here as I try and get the timer sorted out. All right, so we're going to go into the 2 minute round. And it will be Chris again going first for your 2 minutes whenever you start talking.
But I love both of these films. I do. I prefer Sunshine and I over Half Blood Prince. I think Half Blood Prince is a good movie. I think it broke down by ugly cinematography. Some really odd cuts that they made from movie from book material. Some really odd acting, especially for Bonnie White. Her acting really off at Jenny Weasley. And so doesn't deliver the emotion and height that Harry Potter film does. I think one of the weaker of the Harry Potter film. But these Star Trek just appeal overall that to make a bunch of money. It had the action, it had the humor, had the emotion, especially with Spot with what happened to with his mom, with her dying, with Chris Pine, and his never being able to have a relationship with his father because her father gave up his life to save him and his mom when he was born. And don't bunch of the all around thing. JB Abrams bought something that was like a franchise that needed a renovation, like a reboot needed, and that's what we got. It had everything somebody looked for. For the older generation, it had the humor, it had the action. For the younger generation, it just had a character. Like it had little humor that would make a kid laugh, and some high concept action. When you talk about the action in the beginning and the action of Vulcan, or everything, the action last half, it's had everything needed. I think Harry Potter. I think it would have made a lot of money because if you go into it not knowing the Harry Potter thing, it really is confusing, especially with the Voldemort and the Horcrux thing. And I think it's too depressing, it's too meandering at points. The humor is very odd at times. It wouldn't make the money. Soundtrack have everything needed to make the film. It's a better movie. It's reinvigorated for differently. And some of the best acting, Chris Pine as I think is excellent as Cook and Spock. And Lennon Eve on the cherry top gave me a really great performance as the older Spock. With a great finale of some of the best space battle I've seen ever. And I yield the rest of my time.
All right, so that was Chris's 2 minutes coming in right under the wire there. So Kevin, we're going to go to you for your 2 minutes. Time starts whenever you start talking.
Why I went with the Half-Blood Prince is basically Harry Potter is globally one of the most well-known at the time, was one of the most popular, disregarding currently the situation with the writer, but it's it's beloved from the time, and it's more influential, which could probably could easily get people hooked, especially with the point of Half-Blood Prince. It's a penultimate book series, even though one chapter or two part, but it will get people hooked. To get fans interested to the big one of Dumbledore dying. It started with Rebook, and it was popular at the time, but Star Trek at that time, its name wasn't as massive as it once originally was, and also now. I mean, Star Trek has its audience, but it wasn't not big of a global phenomenon as Harry Potter was, especially we're right near the end of the film series, and we see the cast. We grew up with the cast, not just the cast, also the characters. So we're familiar with this. I know for me, like I bit of my attachment to it was I tended throughout the film series, and like from third grade, what I think was second to third grade with Harry Potter. I think Sorcerer's Stone, but it was third Sorcerer's Stone. Then around high school during my junior year was that Prince, and I really think this one would have been the number one film of all time. And I yield my time.
All right. So we have the open debate round coming up, gentlemen. So timer starts when either of you two start talking.
So Kevin, I want to talk about like that Star Trek that they had a period when we talk about the high grossing movie 2009, it had to also have people coming back to see it over and over again. Star Trek had that. It had the word of mouth. It had the rewatchability with the acting, with the attitude, with the emotion aspect. Any family would enjoy it. Like there's so much that appealed to any generation. You got strong female character with Zoe Horror. We had strong male character with Chris Pine and Jesse Quinto, and we had the nostalgia with Leonard Nimoy, with the callback he had to the original Star Trek, and
Yes,
humor that appealed to kids with Scotty, like with the bigger joke, or like the Andrew Jensen, like some of those little back and forth bring out humor that even a kid would get a kick out of. And bright color, everything. But Harry Potter had one I think the bigger problem. It is a depressing movie at
yeah,
points. Whether it's the Dumbledore stuff, whether it's the Voldemort stuff, whether it's the beginning film, the bar, it does not have the rewatchability because yeah, there's a humorous moment here and there, just like all around it, that a deep, dark, depressing Harry Potter movie that wouldn't make a lot of money. So I try to have everything needed for that.
yes. With the tone of the foreign because like this, we're near the end, and Voldemort's been brought back, and we see now people know he exists,
But
and
that would it. Oh, sorry.
we have to put this big important character development, especially with the importance of Dumbledore dying. And yes, start to like what again it did probably start to end. It probably familiarity of the original characters, but I believe people were more holding regard to the next generation of Picard,
Yeah, but it
or
it
also or
it
also
rebooted. Oh,
well,
sorry. It rebooted the franchise so that new generation could enjoy the film while older generation does have the nostalgia with the callback, with Nimoy showing up as Spock, with the connection of both universes. I think with Harry Potter, you go in and never seen Harry Potter, it would appeal to you. The dark aspect of it would turn you off. The Dumbledore dying would turn you off. And they don't give enough time to the character. Like some of the acting come out really wooden at point. Bonnie White, especially in her relationship, we're supposed to care about Ginny and Harry being together. We don't really care. It's really awkward kiss moment. They barely develop a lot of scenes. The Voldemort hardcore flashbacks that get cut down. It loses sight what the story should be. It tried to become a freaking rom-com at point, and it's not that funny at the time. They maybe want to get laugh here and there. It just will not hold a rewatchability and not to make be kind of high grossing movie. I just think Star Trek does have the rewatchability, had word of mouth. Like similar to Avatar, people went to see it and they tell different. You got to see it, even you're not the Star Trek fan. You will enjoy the film. You got the action. You got the emotional arc that needed to draw people in.
But the thing was, like, I remember talking to a few friends about Star Trek about that film. It didn't feel more like a Star Trek film, a Star Trek. It felt more like a Star Wars film.
But that would appeal to anybody, like that few people, anybody you talk to, especially critic back then, loved the film. It grossed a lot of money, and the rewatchability and the aspect held up well today compared to Half Blood Prince. Would
And
get marked down because of depression and darkness and the lack of story cohesiveness.
yes, even, um, even depressing stuff do often get rewatched as well. I mean, we know that like Titanic, it's romantic, but also and it's kind of a bit of a depressing as well. It is a trap, and that is
And time.
of all time.
All right. So that was the 4-minute open debate round. We are going to go to Chris for your closing argument. Remember, you have 60 seconds to close your arguments and wrap up everything in a nice little bow. And then we'll go to Kevin, and then we'll bring on the judges because I'm not doing this by myself. I have a couple of lovely judges here with me to do this. So, Chris, timer starts whenever you start talking.
Listen, both of these movies are good. Star Trek, when it came out, made $385.7 million in the box over $150 million, and it also won Bat Makeup back then. I think because of word of mouth, because of how people are, like, you don't have to be a Star Trek fan to enjoy the movie. If we energize the franchise, if we do this franchise to introduce it to the next generation, we get different story with Bob, we get different story with Chris, we get different introduction story to every character, and we both fall in love with every one of them. Whether you try to Aurora, whether you try to Bascati, whether you try to Chekhov, and everybody still living like, and it's not fun. I think Half Blood Prince get brought down because of story, because of the depression of it that would have held up rewatchability, would have become a high quality movie. See, even as a Star Trek fan, would have do well on the first weekend, but the word of mouth would help. See it going and going up to the end of the year. And it is one of the best films of 2009. Harry Potter Bad Blood Prince is a good Harry Potter film, but it turned me off.
And time. All right, Kevin, you're up next. 1 minute to seal this argument, and timer starts whenever you start talking.
Considering it really did well early, should have early, could earn like ultimately it is a notable franchise, and I think this was in Pat's story, and yes, it was dark, but I mean, I think the few good movies of Pat's that are on that list as well are a bit dark, it's like big dark as well, and I feel like even if it's just dark and depressing, it still has a chance to be number one, and on it will grab towards it. It's I think one of the important film franchise, and also I think it's the third or film high grossing film of that year here, and I think that belongs, and it would have been also belonged to the film of all time. I yield my time.
All right, that's it for round number 1, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to send you guys both to the back, and I'm going to bring in the judges to help me deliberate on who gets the win. Oh, looks like Alan is the only other one with his camera on. But we do also have Chad on the line. He's just audio only. So Alan, I'm going to go to you first. In your medical opinion, as a obvious doctor, who gets your point this round and why?
Chris hit the magic words with rewatchability. Kevin kind of gave himself a hard time with picking the fifth, sixth film in the series, sixth, yeah, and personal point aside my least favorite. Sorry, Kevin, but that's my least favorite one of all of them. But of the year, he had to pick between the year, so I thought he did make a good choice of that year, 2009. But yeah, far and away, Chris had the better argument with Star Trek.
All right, we won't go into why the Nerd King doesn't know which Harry Potter movie it was, but Chad, if you can hear us, who gets your pick on this question and why?
I definitely can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, I love both of these movies. I think they're both great picks, and they both had good arguments. But I'm definitely also on Alan's side, where I think that Chris just made a really great case about rewatchability, as well as like it appealing to a lot more people, like old fans and new fans, and stuff like that. And I thought his like kind of takedowns, while I didn't agree with all of them, I thought they were pretty good, solid arguments against that specific Harry Potter film.
All right, perfect. So with that, thank you guys, judges, for this round. I'll call you guys up in a little bit here, but that gives Chris the 1-0 lead right now. Let me bring them back into the stream. There you go. All right, so question 1 done. Let's go to question 2. And question 2, we're gonna go with another movie that is got a sequel coming out this year. Is the Predator franchise. And I actually really like a lot of the movies in this franchise. I know some of them are not as well appreciated as they should be. But we're going to go different from the movie overall quality to something about the kills in the movie. Specifically, what is the best kill in an Alien or Predator film? Now, I focus on Predator because I couldn't care less about most of the Alien movies. But, gentlemen, the question involves either Alien or Predator or their crossovers, the two that have happened. And this time, Kevin, we're going to go to you first for your opening statement. And again, 60 seconds, timer starts whenever you start talking.
So for kills, in the Alien and Predator franchise, I of course went with Walter Collins' character. Explain his name, gotta write it down. It's with the Predator, and his kill was he gets fully his skull ripped out of his body. And I yield my time.
Okay. So Kevin yielding his time with Stan's death from Predators, where the skull gets ripped out of the body, which is a definite up there choice for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris, we're gonna go to you next. So again, you're gonna have 60 seconds. Timer is gonna start whenever you start talking.
So I'm not the biggest Predator fan. I think they're fun. I haven't seen all of them, but they're good movie. I'm gonna go with Gary Busey death in Predator 2. I think it's one of the most cool deaths. The scene began with a enemy where Danny Glover getting attacked by the Predator, and then Gary Busey come in like, I'm back, motherfuckers. He tried to free the Predator. The Predator just take out one of his deaths forward and cut Gary Busey head. One of the most cool vicious kills. Like the first kill, you actually do see on screen. A lot of death off screen that you barely see it. And a really cool Predator can. Not even a fire like a signature to take down the Predator. That he usually gets to catch Gary Busey in half. And it boosted that. It shows how badass Predator could be, and how he doesn't give a damn about anybody, that he would kill them no matter what, who's standing in his way. So that's my pick.
All right. So we're gonna go straight into the 2-minute round. Kevin, your 2 minutes starts whenever you start talking.
So why I went with Stan this is because I feel like when kills, you go with something that works, that not just cool looking, but also brutal and disgusting it looks. So I could easily pick Predator because it, of course, I think that's where you get most really cool kills. And this one, while we did see in the past Predator films them actually removing the skull from the body, but they've usually been dead. This one, Stan, while he did fought the Predator and got wounded and he's laying down, you see him crawling and you see that Predator actually go to a living Stan, ripped it out, and you actually and you see the full blood of it, and that is memorable in that film. And I really do think like it looks brutal, it looks disgusting, and it looks really cool because Nimrod totally did a great job directing that scene. While I look it all pitch dark, like cloudy, and you see it crawling, pull like grab it, and it works. It works, especially with the Predator franchise. The how the character the creature aliens, not aliens, predators, the species they work well with that, especially they're more game hunter. They are loyal to, especially to what they mark, and withstand that it works. It's worked, and especially like you repeat yourself, like how the practical effects of it and the Euro time.
All right, so that's 2 minutes from Kevin. Chris, we're going to go to you for your 2 minute round. Starts whenever you start talking.
I think honestly that we both picked good choice. I think the problem with standoff, I think it's done already time before, especially in Predator 2. What happened with Jerry, you actually do hear him scream and you see the thing, his skull freaking being ripped off before the Predator go up to the next level, onto the rooftop. I just think with Jerry Bushi's death, it's kind of like a shock moment. You see that they're about to win, they're about to take their Predator down. But no, he just takes his disc out, he throws it to the side and it cut Jerry Bushi in half. Like, kind of creating a situation where we don't know if the hero will come out alive. It's a brutal, effective. It shows that Predators do not give a damn who they up against, that they will kill no matter what, no matter what human being they are. And it's a shocking death. Like, you don't see it coming. It's very effective use of Predator tool set and skill. And from Mayhem from an opponent, I think that death is just like a lot better death in your movie, especially with Edwin, whether it's Danny Trejo character, whether it's the Yakuza character, his fight over to the death with Predator really effective death sequences. It just, I think it's done better before. Just like it, how very thing that hard to look at that way, and it just like nothing. It add nothing to it. I think everyone does much better, especially his death being blown up and taking Predator out almost that way. Like after beheading, a really great sequence to the end. My dad efficient. It shows the cold-blooded nature of the Predator, and it shows how scary it can be. That one quick his tool to cut a person in half, and you do actually see the body a little bit hanging briefly, and you don't see any depth up until that moment, and a great introduction to seeing Predator killing somebody and seeing the result of it. And you the rest of my time.
All right, that's it for the openings. So now we're going to go into the open debate round. So that's 4 minutes, gentlemen. So 4 minutes, you guys both can talk to each other, at each other. Please don't talk over each other. But I get it. If you got to talk over someone, you got to talk over someone. So we're going to go Agent Keys versus, I'm forgetting the character's name now.
Stan.
Right, Stan in Predators. So 4 minutes whenever you guys start talking.
I think we both picked great choices. I think they both very cool. I just think mine is more effective. It's the first time we see Predator killing somebody in film because a lot of the time off screen we just see the result of him killing somebody. The fact that he had Gary Busey go up and just king about you that's the thing they did. Just take out his get for hand. Throw to the side, cut Agent Key in half. It cool effective show how formidable Predator is that he doesn't give a damn. Your death, I think, done before. Predator 2, we do see with Jerry the Lone Ranger. Briefly, we don't see the whole thing, but you see him ripping the skull out, and then you see him climb up the roof of lightning striking and holding the thing in his hand, lightning strike. That more effective death with that.
But here's the thing. I don't know. Like, well, yes, those like hits that type of descent experience were like done. They've been done fine, but they kind of like you actually don't see the body though. they move the camera up, and like you see the predator move hand, and you see the skull. You don't see them actually ripping it from the body.
You kind of see it briefly because it's kind of like one quick shot of him ripping it, and then him climbing up, and then you see the skull like a scene later.
Yeah, but here's the
But it still affects the scene because we care more about Jerry than we do about Stan. It's just a soft value scene.
well, no, I feel like more sharp like people like actually of course, and it's actually a living corpse this time. Other corpses have been dead. This one you actually still you see
You
still
see every Jerry around Predator 2.
I don't know. I mean, they were pretty dead. And also, okay, you're the ancient character, like Henry P's character in Predator 2. That just was cool. It was also the most poorly edited one, and I find it really comical because it it just the predator throwing the hook, and you see it somehow randomly goes to slow motion for some reason, and you see it cutting meat, 1, 2, 3, 4, head, and you hear Scary Beast scream, and you just see the body. You don't see the head. Where did the head go?
But that makes it cool because the first time we see Predator actually kill somebody on screen, all of that we see before off screen of it barely beating about with Jerry. And it's just like it's so have formidable opponent that he did anything to his object killing somebody. But you're the generally legend, that one of my big issues with Predator that you can barely see what's going on. And we don't give a damn at that stand. It's just like it gets killed. I thought the Evan death is much better in to the end, and the way to take out the Berserker Predator is much better death.
I know it was Gary Busey's character, and but for some reason, but here's the thing. I thought at first I thought he had an explosion, but then like, oh, he's still alive. Oh, then,
yeah, but it showed that he's willing to come back and save Danny Glover. That what made him like he gets his death for a moment, and he gets killed off very quickly. That what made the death so cool. Just that soft failure that we don't expect him to die that quickly. That
but we stand
anybody could die like at that point. Like,
but here's the thing. Throughout the film, we never see anyone go up close and personal to it till the end. Stan, he just straight up jump on top of a predator and just tried stabbing it, get tossed.
No, we got the accuser guy did a sword battle with a predator. We see that bit up close and personal.
Yeah, but that was more story. He jumped at it.
And time.
Make a lie.
All right. So, yes, there was a jump. I'll confirm that instead of fact checking later. There was a jump. Someone trying to stab a predator in this film. So we're gonna go into the closing argument. Kevin, you're gonna go first. You got 60 seconds, and then Chris, you're gonna go right after.
Yeah,
I love this argument so much. Kevin, timer starts whenever you start talking, man.
So okay, Stan, it's actually cool to me because like not only like he at least went down like at first went down fine, but gets stabbed, but you see him crawling and gets ripped up. But also it's definitely calm by his character because it's about gone character, and both team and Gary Busey are really talented character actors. But Gary Busey was like his death was just so laughable, especially just the red screen. It's disappearing head, but you see the blood flow either from the head or the meat. Like it's just so hilarious. Plus, most of these films have been on the kill count on James H.D.'s Deadbeat channel, but my death stance has been ranked the Golden Chainsaw set as in it with the best death in the movie. For the Predator 2 one, that one went to more the gangster set who got head removed.
And time. All right, Chris, we're gonna go to you. Final minute of this round. Timer starts whenever you start talking.
Listen, we talk about the list. My death is also on the list as well. Like it might not be the top, it's definitely on the list. And you just made another better kill that better than yours. So let me just put it. My kill is efficient. Show the predator as much deadlier. that he used any tool he had to take down this guy. Yeah, a little bit laughable. Any death in any franchise is laughable, but fun. It's an excellent kill. Agent Key death come out of nowhere. You don't see it coming, and his comeback and like the Predator came out, cut him half in 8 years. The other dimly lit, very hard to see. It's done better before with Jerry, and there are many better deaths than you may rather advent under Yakuza guy or the Predator itself getting hit beheaded. But those deaths were better. Like affection, it still for especially from when it came out, it's very excellent. Hold up well today, and it shows how bad the Predator is. Like he just remember a person that we should be scared of. That he should cut you in half to when one use to his tool, whether it's the CGI or not. Still a cool death.
And time. All right, gentlemen, that was a very well debated round. I'm going to send you guys back to the back, and I'm going to bring in the judges once again. Oh, hey, we got Chad and the spaceman on screen. Look at that. There we go.
All right.
All
A
right.
reunion.
There we go.
Yep.
Perfect. I love it. All right. So, Chad, we're going to start with you this time around. Who gets your point this round and why?
Yeah, I mean, this one was pretty even. It's hard to, debate deaths, I feel like, but it was still a fun round. Since it was so even, it was hard to actually pick someone for this. But what really kind of sold me is, I mean, just like the hook of Kevin, I picked Kevin. Kevin explaining his death and just kind of how badass it seemed to be. And then also like him bringing up like the Golden Chainsaw Awards and stuff like that was kind of a cool selling point for me. So yeah, I went with Kevin.
All right. Dr. Spachemin, we go to you next. Who gets your pick of the point this round and why?
Well, kudos to the writer. I guess it was maybe Aaron. I don't know. This was an excellent question. Lots of fun deaths. When you're going into a movie like this for this franchise, both these franchises, because you're wanting to see some cool action deaths. Predator is a pretty good one to go through, and I think I'm going with Kevin too. I think it was a memorable kill. As soon as he said, I went, oh yeah, I remember that one vividly. So yeah, I'm going with Kevin too.
All right, that puts Kevin at a tie now, as at 1-1 with Chris. So thank you, judges. I'll come back to you after round 3. Glad to see you guys both on screen there, and I'll bring in Chris and Kevin again. All right, guys, we're going into round number 3, and for this round, I don't really have a joke or an introduction. I'm not really sure why the question was asked, but it was asked. So I'm not going to try and improv this right now because I just can't think of anything. What is the best musical released in the 1980s? There were quite a few. Not as many as there were in the 60s and 70s. They were kind of dying out, but musicals there were nonetheless. Chris, we're going to go to you first for this one. So again, same way the timer works in the last 2 rounds and every other match you've been in. 60 seconds whenever you start talking.
So, and 80 had a bunch of great musical as well, but I go with one that appealed to me, one that I love to this day. It's funny and entertaining. It's on a memorable song by Winter May Allen making all people. I'm going with Little Shop of Horrors from 1986. It's directed by Yoda himself, fake odd, but not a lot of people would think is the director, but he does that like job. With Moreno in it, the Martin in it, Bill Murray, and Green. Like can't go on it. A great movie with full of members on like Charlie Seymour, Goodwill. Dentist is really good. The cameo by Bill Murray as a host is very funny. The puppetry oddly to itself, especially for the 1980 decade, is impressive. It leads to some of the best song ever, some of the best memorable lines, memorable character, memorable laugh. And it's just like it's something you want from music at that. I mean, you memorize your song, waiting for start to finish, in love with the character, in love with the story, and big horror aspect to it, well, especially with Audrey too, one of the most scariest plant B ever in the film. I get the rest of my time.
All right, so that is Chris's introduction, 60 seconds over and done with. Kevin, we're going to go to you next. What is your pick for the best musical released in the 1980s?
So, my pick for the best musical of the 1980s is, of course, the cult classic Olivia Newton-John movie, Xanadu, and I yield my time.
All right, keeping it short and sweet yet again. So Little Shop of Horrors versus Xanadu. All right, so we're going to go into the 2-minute debate round now, where you can expand more upon your opening arguments there. So, Chris, timer starts whenever you start talking.
Listen, I don't like to shit on a film my opponent picked, but Xanadu is one of the worst musical movies of all time. It's boring. The music very memorable. The fact that this is Gene Kelly's last performance is a little bit sad because he's doing his best, but the musical secret with him and Olivia Newton-John is appalling and boring. You should kind of see it lip syncing. My movie is full of memorable music, whether you can't about Stanley Seymour, a Skid Row, a dentist, or the Titus Outlaw Chopper Horror, Supper Time, Green Mother for Out of Faith, like, and the characters that whether it's about Seymour himself, Audrey 2, Mushneck, or the Seymour to Arn. Like, it's full of memorable things. Like, there's so much energetic and intelligent to the movie. The puppetry is amazing and beyond point, especially coming from the 80s. Audrey 2 is impressive to hell. The little bit hard element that makes it scare point. The, the fact that the creature come alive, he wants blood, that feed me Seymour, and he would say in the movie. It's scary beyond point. And it does have emotional element to Audrey and Seymour relationship. You root for them to be together. Someone that doing a beautiful song. Ellen despite her voice, sings beautifully. And there's so much more to my movie. It also has one of the most funniest scenes of all time with Mary and Seymour sharing things together. And Mary be the patient, Seymour the dead that he don't want another thing, don't want pain, and it Seymour gave it to him, and he get appalled up to the point, even though he loved giving people pain for a living. It's so funny and it's so entertaining. Fate all does a really good job shooting the secret. The action are also great, all three of them. Like Disney voice amazing. Like this is an example of what is about music. From memorable music, memorable character, a really memorable plot, especially for remake. It's really impressive. And it's one of the better remakes that came out from this decade.
And time. All right, Kevin, we're going to go to you next. Again, 2 minutes starts whenever you start talking.
So why I went with Xanadu is I feel like this probably describes a perfectly musical from the 80s that would probably describe the disco era with plot. The music I really is memorable. It's the best kind of cheese. It's there is love to this. Olivia Newton-John sings her heart out, and she does a phenomenal job with this. At Gene, yes, this is just what Gene Kelly's last role. He like he still does a great job to it, even for his age at that time. There's a truly epic final musical number of Xanadu. Even that just brilliant with them just roller skating with it and Olivia Newton-John singing the loving theme of Xanadu. I'm just, all right, sorry if I don't want to call copyright strike with this video, but because you get it, just singing in the title of the musical just by that, but it's just so epic, and why yes, some people will fairly say it's the worst musical of the 80s like of all time, but you can say that about most films. And to begin with, you can say that about any form of musical. Movie is terrible, uh, but yes. Well, yeah, there's love, especially there's a scene where it just changes to a 2D animation song, and I think they did a brilliant job with it, and so I feel like Xanadu it's my pick for the best musical of the 80s, and I give my time.
All right, we're going to go into the 4-minute open debate round now. I will be honest, I have not seen either of these two movies, so you guys really have to sway me real hard on either of these two picks. So, again, 4 minutes. Timer starts whenever you guys start talking.
Listen, I don't like shitty on movies. Xanadu is beyond awful. It's just like the thing is atrocious at that point. Olivia Newton-John is back, but even she cannot save a movie. There've been time again where singer can't save a movie. Have you ever seen in the past? Gene Kelly, God bless the man. He's doing the best he can, but that sequence when him and Olivia Newton-John had that fancy like flashback sequence, there is lip syncing problem, but I didn't know like is they lip syncing? Like, and the scene it looked atrocious. Like the roller skating stuff is boy. A Dallas for Doctor Who show up in one bit of that roller skating scene.
That's the best.
But that's just like I think better musical that is crappier than that. The pirate movie and Can't Stop the Music is much better than that. I've watched that in the past. Like and that goes for cheap factor. My movie is a prime example of how to adapt a musical movie from the Broadway show. It brings so much character to the television. Seymour is a relatable character. You feel for him to be with Audrey, to him to get out of Skid Row. To install a memorable. Phoebe Seymour is one of the most catchiest villains on all time. Same with Dentist. Like the fact that Seymour is punching out people just from Levy is like to laugh. The humor is there. There's some really dark humor in it. Like, and unlike yours, my acting, like everybody did a phenomenal job in the film. Everybody in the film, whether you talk about Rick Moranis, whether you talk about Dean Martin, whether you talk about Rich himself, Ellen Green and Audrey. The planet himself is great acting and a great voiceover work for Levi Strauss.
Yes, I really like the Alert Report. I think it's really good, but I don't know if it's not the best. I know Frank Oz better film than that. Like, but
Your movie plot is very inconsistent with what it's trying to do. Like, Living Jr. John popping out of the film a lot. It's just like at the point of just like let's just throw stuff in the paint and like the lead character is wooden and not likable and not rooting for them. Like with mine, at least you're rooting for Audrey and you're rooting for Seymour to be together. You believe their chemistry. Telling Seymour is a beautiful romantic song. Especially for Rick Moranis, who I didn't know have a really good theme voice, and he does a really good job singing up against Ellen Green with that song.
I don't know. I don't know. I pretty much I was never reading it like for Audrey 5. I was like, what the early, and I while fine, recommend. I think we heard it was okay. He was a bit whiny though.
He had more. Rick Moranis had more energy and more likability than Jim had to himself. He had character everyday person that you root for. Like you believe the vulnerability, the notice in him. He's just likable. And I talk about Steve Martin in my movie. He really come in and stole the movie when he pop up at the dentist. Like his scene when he's seen dentist or whether he gets cut off or the scene with Ben Murray, it's like so memorable, so laughing your ass off. Like there's so many.
True.
At the end,
Count of Steve Martin. I mean, you can't. I mean, nothing go wrong with Steve Martin.
right.
But I do think though. Was it didn't people have issues with the ending to Little Shop of Horrors? To the
That happened all the time. That we should not judge a movie based on it. And he is still actually really good. Big B Mother Fallacy is excellent song, and the way get Audrey to get off is good. It may still be alive. They kind of hinted at the end, kind of new end. That still a little part I'm still funny about. But it's still a great ending. It still had a dark humor. Like,
And time. All right. So we're gonna go into the 1 minute closing arguments. Who did I just say goes first? Chris, you're going first. So Chris, you're gonna go first. 60 seconds. Timer starts whenever you start talking.
so I want to bring this up. I did get a chance to meet up. Your movie created to go to Raspberry Award along with Can't Stop the Music. That's how bad it is. Even for a cult classic, it's not memorable. The music not memorable. It they barely a lot of song in film still. Like all a lot of dialogue centric. Gene Kelly, my God, he gave me a hard out, but he cannot save the film. It's boring and nonsensical because the main character is wooden. Olivia Newton-John just did being herself. In mine, it had everything: memorable music, memorable plot, one of the best puppetry that's in this. That comes from Frank Oz himself, who's been with whether he's dealing with Yoda or the Muppet, that he brings his expertise into this. It's just everything you want in a musical Feed me, Seymour. It's one of the most memorable villain line in the last couple of years, like in from that decade. And it's just lovable. I get a laugh every time we watch it, and it hold up throughout today with the visual effect. I really recommend it.
All right. Kevin, we're going to go to you for the final 1 minute of this round. Again, timer starts whenever you start talking.
Well, like, for the reason why Xanadu is all classic, where it's like there, it's like it is the time it's what's referred to as the worst musical, but it's still I feel it's the best. I mean, it's like it shows a lot with the music. It does get creative with his visuals. I mean, like especially when like I said, like the animation and. But I think like Louis John played played Louis John. Rick Moranis played Rick Moranis in Little Shop of Horror, I hate to say it, but Frank does better poetry in I think Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. I think, but Xanadu is alive. But Louis John. I mean, I think she also still sings Xanadu when she performs. So I feel like earned the best.
And time. All right. Great job, you guys. I'm going to send you guys to the back and bring in our judges once again. Dr. Spachemin is joining us through audio. We'll keep switching this out. It's fine. So while he's on audio, I'm going to go to Chad, you first. Who gets your point this round and why?
Well, I definitely respect Kevin coming out saying I choose Xanadu and then mic dropping and yielding like a lot of his time, but then coming in trying to defend Xanadu. I still went with Chris for Little Shop of Horrors. I mean, Chris is the musical guy. I knew he was going to do a really great job. I was hoping that Kevin would come in and have this like brilliant take on Xanadu and like some super hardcore knocks against Little Shop of Horrors. I didn't get that really. And I got a lot of other stuff from Chris. So this is why I'm going with Chris. But I do respect the kind of like hardcore, I'm going to take a film that's kind of like notoriously known for like being not great and trying anyways. So respect to Kevin, but I chose Chris.
All right. Dr. Spachemin, we go to you for your expert advice now. Who gets your point this round and why?
First of all, ditto everything that Chad just said. And Kevin, bruh, good choice, but you had an uphill battle because there's only one answer to this question ever. And Chris chose the right one. Little Shop of Horrors, not only the best movie musical of the 80s, but possibly of all time. I'm a theater kid. I don't like musicals, but I'll be honest, I love me some Little Shop of Horrors anytime. And anytime that movie is playing, I'm watching it because it's absolutely brilliant and it's almost perfect. So Chris gets my point, and that's why.
That is some very high praise from the spaceman himself. With that, thank you, judges. That gives Chris a 2-1 lead going into question number 4. I'll send you guys to the back and bring back the competitors. All right, gentlemen, this is potentially the final question. Chris, if you get this point, you win the match. However, if Kevin gets the point, then we go to sudden death, aka the blind round, aka my least favorite round in any of these things.
You and me both.
Oh my god. Now, for movie Battleground, there is an option that you can have your questions, viewers, submitted as potential questions that our competitors can answer. And that's what one of our questions is today. So, if you want to get your question into a future movie Battleground match, email not me, but Aaron at officialaaroncanoll@gmail.com with your name and your question. You need to put your name in there because otherwise he won't put the question through because we don't want to have anyone submit a question and then end up having the question be given to them in a match. So, again, it's going to be rolling down the bottom. Send him an email with the questions you want asked, and Aaron will try his best to get it into a match sooner rather than later. Now, this question was submitted by our very own Brian Nussbaum, and the question is, What is the best film based on or adapted from a TV show? Now, there's a lot of TV shows that get movie adaptations or get turned into a movie, and we asked you guys what your choice was for the best adaptation. Now, Brian, we're going to go to you first. So, again, same rules as before 60 seconds to introduce your movie that is based on a TV show. Timer starts whenever you start talking.
Who's Brian?
Sorry, not Brian. Kevin. I'm reading the damn name in front of me, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Brian. No, it's
When he came back
Kevin.
from dead, he tried to beat him to get revenge.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Okay, so, ladies, gentlemen, non-binary pals. Non-binary pals. Sorry, wording. But, this is welcome to my movie Battleground debate, and here I am picking the best based off a movie based off a TV show movie. Maybe I think, or I think one probably can't sketch, since my pick is of course the amazing duo of Jake and Elwood, the fabulous, the talented, the amazing Blues Brothers, and I yield my time. I am so terrible at wording.
All right, so we got the Blues Brothers in the house. Chris, we're going to go to you next. 60 seconds to introduce your choice for the best movie based on or adapted, you know what I mean, from a TV show.
So I'm a big TV fan. I love TV to death. Based on TV show been hit and miss. I going with the best one. I think one of the most funniest, memorable movies from the 2010. It's the one that made me laugh the most. Coming from a director who we didn't even know about, Christopher Lloyd. I have a been out the name, but going with 21 Jump Street. With Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill, this is the most memorable movie based on TV show. Full of laugh, full of humor. The screenplay is very funny. The acting is really good. Relatable characters, hysterical scenario. Like when they accidentally take the drug and then on the drug deal, saying one of the most funniest things, the Peter Pan secret funny. When it comes net back to the TV show that it's based on, it really nice touch with Johnny Depp and his friend the TV show showing up. It's so memorable. Brie Larson's very funny. Ella Kemper is very funny. Teacher the hair on Channing Tatum. Nick Offerman really funny. Jay Johnson really funny. Dave Fincher really funny in it as Rodrigo.
And time. All right, gentlemen. We're going to go into the 2-minute round now. Again, starting with Kevin, and he's going to talk about the Blues Brothers. Kevin, hit me with it.
Why I with the Blues Brothers is because I feel like they are like the original debut is was really great, and I feel like they told a great story with this, but from the writer of John Landis. It told a really true, fun epic adventure, and this is one of the most wonderful films from Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi, John Belushi. The soundtrack is the best movie soundtrack of all time. And has one of the most talented and phenomenal musical artists that you will ever see in a film. And of course, of course we go with the crazy out of the world out of the scenarios they get into is with whenever Carrie Fisher appears and causes some stop motion. It's really great. They bring these characters to life from their truly epic SNL performances. And I yield my time.
All right, so that is more on the Blues Brothers. Chris, we're going to go to you next to talk more about Jump Street, specifically 21 Jump Street. Timer starts whenever you start talking.
Listen, we both pick a choice. I think Blue Butter is good, not great. I think it does not hold up well with some aspects of it. I think especially like the whole Nazi stuff really feel odd, like the police showing up thing. Even John Cannon cameo is a little bit weird. The music code number are good and fine between just some great moment here and there. But it feels like it part of the time it came out and the humor hit and miss. With mine, the humor are very hit and hit, whether you talk about them accidentally taking the drum, going running around the school to sing with Rob Riggle. He said, "Damn, your time." That whole time secret, the Peter Pan edition, then fighting with the Peter Pan scene, really funny. Um, the whole like, yeah, you're right to be a lawyer, like then not doing the Miranda right, really funny. And you let the cats at that, whether you talk about IQ, whether you talk about Kenny Kano, Jonah Hill, Rodrigo on the offset, Dave Franco, Brie Larson, Jake Johnson. Especially IQ, like, it kind of revived his career. Like, it showed that he to be funny again in film. Like, the Korean Jesus sequence is freaking hysterical. Like, your movie had moments with humor. I think it's a part of its time. I don't think it held up well. It does. I think it's a good movie at best, and with some memorable scenes. But mine have everything. The humor, the writing is really good. It's reinvigorated the movie based on TV career. It was kind of dead back then when you only had the movie like Simpson movie, Almost Impossible, but nothing really out. The rest kind of stuff. I Spy, Talking Hot Stuff. This was a great movie that reinvigorated not only TV career, but kind of gave the jumping off point of Phil Lloyd and Christopher Miller and showed them, hey, just because they didn't claim with the chance of meatball, they can make actually great movie and look at what they did. Made Channing Tatum actually a funny actor. Well,
And time. All right, boys, we're going to go into our 4-minute debate round now. So, you guys know how this works. 4 minutes, timer starts whenever one of you guys start talking.
I think I just watched the Blue Blood for the first time this week. I think it's a good movie. I think it had things that are memorable, but I think it a cookie cutter plot. That jump all over the place. Like it have random sequence happen that come out of nowhere. Like the contest off at the end. Like the one friend when that trying to help them that get the idea to help with the orphanage. Just suddenly come out costume change and they all in like the fake Sinatra band sequences. I think Kate Fisher the only one that delivered a couple of good laughs, but she randomly throughout the movie. The Nazi thing really come out of nowhere, and does it really get brought up a lot? The police thing is kind of its own plot that weird lead to weird stuff here and there. I don't know. I thought I was more entertained by the musical sequence and was bored by the rest of the film.
I don't know. It was like I don't know. Well, yes, it's a simple plot, but so does every other movie adaptation of a TV show has the same type of plot. But with yes, I don't think it's not of this type. But like the whole idea, like it's not. It doesn't say like these are like or but no, it's hating Nazi. Like they mention how they just like ran driving
Well,
through
it just
the
come
bar.
out of nowhere in the film.
It
It's just like
drive off. It's
yeah,
like
and then they get really hard. Then it's just like with my film at least, it take what really considered like TV movies back in the 2010 were kind of dying out, like movie based on TV show. We had a Simpson movie 2007, then we had a lot of dead period, like here and there. Then 21 Jump Street, covered by people we didn't really know about, like you've seen Clancy Richard Chance and Meatball. Like, and we invited television to it. He gave Channing Tatum like that he should do comedy. I got imagine Mike himself to be funny in film, and he's hysterical in the film. Same with Jonah Hill. Their chemistry works so well off each other. Adding IQ as the police captain, his stuff is hysterical. Like the Korean Jesus scene is one of the most memorable moments of the film. Like, and Rob Riggle really funny at the gym teacher that turned out to be like the drug dealer. Like he gets his peanut shot off. It's a really funny thing. And it felt like it landed joke by also creating an emotional bond with both of the characters. Change the role reversal with China being like, the geek person, Jonah Hill becoming more of what China was. And you don't really like the character. I kind of like the character in yours, but at the same time, they come out as dickish and creepy at points. Like when Dan Aykroyd trying to help the woman at the gas station, he kind of being a little creepy to her, trying to like her to the hotel and interstation. You know what I mean?
Well,
And you
yeah,
date not too well.
because we're having a small type of discussion. There was nothing really great about it. Like, she was she was I think we fill out some gas. Like, she's like, sure, and then they
Yeah.
just started talking. That's just it. And like your headlines have was pretty funny a bit. The Blues Brothers final scene is crazy bonkers. It's like it's one of the best car chase scene, and in fact, I think it did used to hold the world record for the more car crashes in a movie.
And that's good for a comedy. It's just like mine at least deliver the heart. Like you do care about both of them. Like that's the great thing about this movie. And the humor does hit. Whether you're thinking
And
about
time. All right. So, I love both of these movies. So this is going to be really tough if I have to also judge for the first time. You guys can't see it, but Chad is getting attacked by a vicious animal off screen right now. Okay, so we're gonna go into the final closing round of this round. Closing, you know what I mean. So 60 seconds. Kevin, you're gonna give us your closing, and then followed by Chris on Blues Brothers versus 21 Jump Street. Kevin, whenever you're ready.
Yes, Blues Brothers is the best. Authority being adaptation is it brought out more of its from its SNL appearances. Plus, actually we do now know with art, and also getting to see the band perform, and also you see the variety of talented musicians. Guess we like from Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, James Brown, especially be part of the some amazing music scenes, including some of them that are easily referenced, and of course you have the a cameo at the very end from a one a bit youngish, young adultish Steven Spielberg, like at the end of the joke for an appearance, and it really works.
And time. All right, Chris. Final 60 seconds of the round. Timer starts whenever you start talking.
I think Blue Blood is a good movie. Not a great movie. I think it's a product of its time. It definitely via SSL, GSS to right, with some humor is funny, some is not good. I think the music is good, the best part of the movie. But mine, it actually does better than the TV show. It brings into it today. It actually had a great cast. Like whether we talk about Brie Larson, right, when she gets drunk and reveal that they actually accomplish a really funny scene, it does connect well to the TV show with Johnny Depp and French Trio. That night little touch really nice day in the 21 Jump Street universe. And it does bring hard. I think that what your film lacked that mine had. You care about Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum characters a lot, about their situation, their friendship. Like, despite, they were so different in the beginning. And everything else, they think it's funny. Ellen Kemper as the creepy cheat is really funny. Her attempt to have Channing Tatum bring out a bunch of laugh. And especially for Creative Official Lloyd, it impressive start to their career. Because I can't even a chance to meet. But great movie, best movie based on a TV show.
And time. All right, thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to send you guys to the back, and we will see what happens when I bring in our two judges. Chad, good to see that you're still alive after that vicious attack off screen by what seems to be like a panther of some kind.
It was a cat.
It was a cat. All right. Well,
cat. Yeah.
I'm not great at animal biology. Human biology is where my stuff is at. And Dr. Spachemin. So we're gonna go with you, Alan. Who gets your point this round and why?
Both excellent choices again. I mean, Kevin, is good at making choices. He just needs to pick up a little bit, defending a little bit, just a little bit more. But good ideas. But I'm going to go with Chris, the way he was bringing it up, some of the weaknesses of 21 Jump Street, but how it really overcame them, and being a great adaptation and making it modernized, quote unquote, for what it did. So I'm going to go with Chris.
All right, and Chad, we go to you next. Who gets your point and why?
Yeah, I also went with Chris, right on the same page. Kevin did a really good job, like Alan said, picking a good movie and defending it really well. Kind of a comedy SNL thing that they made bigger and more awesome. But Chris really took 21 Jump Street and talked about why it's maybe even better than the original TV show, and how the characters and cast like all kind of meshed really well, and kind of gave us more range from Channing Tatum and stuff like that. But also the edge that he had, more than just really talking great about his film, is just having a little more of saying that Blues Brothers is more of a product of its time and stuff like that. And I just didn't hear enough from Kevin as far as detractors from 21 Jump Street. Yeah, Chris.
All right, thank you very much, judges. I'm going to send you guys both to the back because, and your winner with a score of 3-1, Chris Diaz. Chris, congratulations, my man. Coming out with a win on this one. A lot of tough questions that ended up being pretty close. But how are you feeling now, coming one step closer to the 500 mark?
I'm feeling good. I've been telling myself I wanted to do better this year, and to get 2 wins to debate so far this year, it's really impressive. Like, Kevin is a great player. I will give it to him. Like the alien one, he had me on the rope. Like that one and the last one, were a little bit like. We also have a bunch of great choices. Like happy I got to be watch some good stuff. Some good new watches. One not so good, as I said. But it's fun. I mean, I know I could be a good player, and I doubt myself last year with my losses, and I told myself I need to do better, and I happy getting win. I also happy I get a good opponent. I love arguing with people that enjoy arguing with. Whether it's Kevin, whether it's Brian, whether it's Jonathan, bunch of people so far this year. Like
Right. I mean, hey, those 2 wins do put you in good position too. So, just looking to the future real quick, is there anyone on the horizon that you kind of want to have in the battleground going face to face against you?
honestly, anyone. I really don't play anybody new and anybody that I've been playing. I don't like the challenge. I like not knowing who I'm playing and just going in.
Right.
That's the best thing, not knowing who you're playing until you put in the green room, and then that interesting match.
Right. I agree
Yeah.
with that. I like the not knowing, and then I get put with someone like Joe or Jeremy, and then I'm like, God damn it! I
Oh
wish I'd
God.
known this beforehand.
I dreading the day I had to beat Joe. I dread that day.
Yeah, no, that one's not an easy one. But all right, congratulations on the win again, man. Much love to you. I'm going to send you the back, and I'm going to interview the unfortunate loser of today's match, Kevin. Kevin, again, a little bit of a tough loss here, but you did put out a good show. The Predators round was definitely yours, hands down. I probably would have given you the last one on the TV show question, but hey, I didn't get to judge on that one. So, what are your thoughts about this match, and how are you feeling right now?
As far as expected, I'm glad this time it was a knockout. I'm glad I at least got one. Last loss was pretty much I didn't get any. So I'm happy about that. I'm pretty much I knew the Xanadu was gonna be disaster, but it's just one of those. Hey, I pick a Xanadu for like it's a fun musical. I don't change this as everyone does. I even saw a musical adaptation of it, so I'm like, I'll go with it.
Why not, man? You gotta stick with what you know, right? So, I'm gonna ask you the same question I asked your opponent. You are at 1-4 now, but is there anyone that you're looking at that you want to face in the battleground coming up, so you can kind of get another win on your belt?
Is there someone that's 0-4? Is someone who had not had a win?
I'll be honest, I have no idea what the records are for anybody. I barely know my own record, to be honest with you. But you know what? If there is someone 0-4, I'll put it up to management, basically Aaron, and I'll let him know to put you through. But again, man, hell of a match. Really good job out there, and I'm glad to see you guys. And you guys did a hell of a show. So thank you for putting on such a wonderful show, both of you guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us today. Another great match here in the movie Battleground. Now, I want to just quickly say thank you to the judges, Dr. Spachemin and Chadwick Webb, both of you guys for coming in and really helping out with this. I'm not great at the hosting thing yet and doing all the other stuff, so having you guys there to help me out is a real help for me. So thank you very much. Thank you guys, both of our competitors, Chris and Kevin. Again, congratulations on a brilliant match played. And also, I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment. If you guys want to get a match in, join our Facebook group and message Aaron. If you guys want to join the judging team, that's also got some openings. So please make sure you message Aaron for that as well. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you guys know when we upload. And just so you guys know, we do have a pretty big match coming up. It is the finals of the Summer Invitational Tournament with the winner earning a title shot. That is coming up on Saturday. I'm not going to spoil who's in it, mainly because who knows? It could be me. It might not be me. It's probably not me. Who knows? I'm not going to tell you anything. But that's it from me. That's it from Kevin. That's it from Chris, from Alan, from Chad. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Battleground. Take care.